Hi guys, welcome back to our B1A video lessons. And today we're going to continue talking about relationships, but emphasizing how people post about their lives, about their behavior, right? So here we are talking about Insta personality. So how people talk about their lives showing in photos, right? Do you have an Instagram profile? What is that? Today we're going to read an article about Insta personality. Insta is the short form for Instagram. Instagram is a social media where people post photos revealing a lot about their emotions, about their behavior, what they think about different situations. Let's pay attention now to a profile in Instagram, and you're going to analyze about what kind of Insta personality this person is, right? So take a look at these photos. And we have selfies, nature photos, couple photos, work photos, group photos, and travel photos. And whether your social media posts are carefully planned or completely spontaneous, what you post reveals a lot more than you imagine. Psychological studies have found connections between personality, emotions, and the photos we post, showing Instagram can be a window to your soul. So, this is the topic today, your Insta personality.
Your Insta personality. Whether your social media posts are carefully planned or completely spontaneous, what you post reveals a lot more than you imagine. Psychological studies have found connections between personality, emotions, and the photos we post. Showing Instagram can be a window to your soul. 1. Selfies. Do you post a lot of these? If they are extreme images, for example, taken while you are skydiving, it shows you have an adventure-seeking personality. If you enjoy posting funny ones, your followers can see that you are fun-loving and easygoing. But be aware that the need for likes reveals a desire for recognition and is often a sign that you are self-centered. 2. Couple photos. If you often post images of yourself and your partner, it demonstrates a strong and stable relationship. We see two like-minded individuals who want to be together. Be careful about uploading too many of these. Ask yourself why you feel the need to prove yourself and your relationship to other people. 3. Group photos. If your profile has plenty of images of you with lots of people at parties, etc., sure, it sends the message that you're outgoing and sociable. However, it can also point to loneliness. Are you trying too hard to show everyone that you have plenty of friends? Four, nature photos. If you post photos of landscapes, it shows a thoughtful person who has the time to admire the beauty of his or her environment. On the other hand, it may also point to someone who is tired of the pace of life and needs some time off. 5. Travel photos. Posting vacation images is a way of storing memories and emotions you felt while on your trip. A love of exploring the planet shows that you are open-minded and enjoy experiencing new places. Be aware that posting photos from a vacation is like posting an ad that you're not at home. Perhaps wait and post them when you're back home. 6. Work photos. If you post a lot of photos of your office, it shows your professional life is a priority for you. It can also mean that you want to portray yourself as a knowledgeable person with a high-status position. Or maybe you're just looking for a promotion.
The first question is, do you have an Insta profile? We're going to take a look at a profile now, and you're going to tell me about what do you think of this profile? What kind of photos does this person post? And according to this, does this person show a window to her soul? Does she show the emotions? What kind of personality do you think this person shows? Let's take a look. So this is my personal profile, right? As you can see, I have some highlights here, right? About birthdays, personal moments, right? Like this one, as you can see here, you see? And my daughter. Take a look at some posts here. It's about celebration. Beautiful messages, photos with my family, as you can see here, right? My mother's birthday. Here I have a photo, a selfie at work at College Militar de Manaus, the teacher's room, right? Great moments with the family. I think it is really nice when you celebrate and you post, this is my family, my children, in a very nice moment, right? And here was about Mother's Day, lots of presents, so a lot of photos from my children, especially. And here I'm talking about friendship. You see, lots of friends from school. We have been together here in a party, and here in this post, I'm talking about a meeting with friends from school. These photos are from my classmates, my colleagues, English teachers. I love pictures from Manaus too. I love to post my city, landscape, right? And of course, family. This is my family, right? This is my professional Instagram, and this profile talks about language teaching and bakery. So here, my posts are about US celebrations, grammar points, vocabulary, right? Take a
Grateful days be endless. Grateful for each hand we hold. Nah, 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 I won't give up. Nah, nah, nah. Let me love you. Let me love you.
and take a look at the posts that you can see here. What defines me? Most of the posts are about vocab and grammar points, right? As you can see, some beautiful messages, words that can help people about pandemic situations, celebrations, right? I generally post here the history about the event. St. Patrick's Day, what happened on March 17th. So I talk about the history, how it is celebrated. So tell me, which of these Insta personality have you seen in the profiles you visit at Instagram, Facebook, and other social medias? What about you? Do you have a social media profile? Let's now do this exercise about the article we have read. Are they true or false? Take a look. Are you into Instagram? So let's take a look at this. Number one, selfies show an adventurous but sometimes fragile personality. Two, constantly posting couple photos is a sign of an insecure relationship, according to the paragraph we read about couple photos. Do you remember? True or false? Number three, group photos can send both positive and negative messages. What do you think? True or false? Remember that? Four, photos in a natural environment show someone who doesn't have much free time. Is that true or false? In number five, posting travel photos can pose a security risk. According to the article we've read, which one is that? True or false? And number six, workplace photos might mean you want to show people how important you are. According to the article, is it true or false? Let's check the answers. And the answers are number one, true. Selfies show an adventurous but sometimes fragile personality. Number two is false. Constantly posting couple photos is not a sign of insecure relation, but it can show that you are happy and your relationship is stable and serious, right? Number three, it is true. When you post a lot of group photos, they show positive or negative message. Remember, it can show that you are a very sociable person or that you are lonely and you want to show you have a lot of friends, but you don't. Number 4 is false because it shows someone who may need more free time. Not exactly that you are a person who doesn't have much free time, you see? Number 5 and number 6 are true. If you post a lot of travel photos, it can show that you are not at home and it is a security risk, right? And workplace photos might mean you want to show people how important you are, that you are a good professional, right? So the article gives some advice about social media security. What other advice can you think of? Pay attention to the example. Your friends may not always want you to tag them or show their locations. Let's watch a video about which security we should have about media. You hold a responsibility to secure your cyberspace. Number 1, be aware of TMI. Sharing your location and other personal info risks identity theft and even your physical safety. Number 2, control your privacy. Manage your configuration privacy settings to limit who can see your profile and information. Number 3, protect your password. Keep your passwords strong and your identity safe by using a minimum of 8 characters, including a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. Stop, think, connect, create services, information security office. Some suggested answers are: discussing your job on social media can be a bad idea. You might accidentally leak important information about your employers to competitors. Be aware that a lot of companies check potential employees' social media, so you should make a good impression. Make sure you know the people who request to follow you. Make sure your photos are not geotagged, giving information about your location. Remember that we have already studied about some adjectives to talk about personality. Take a look at the text again. In this article, we talked about some profiles of media, right? So that show people's behavior, people's emotions about what they think based on the posts they make, right? So in number 1, we were talking about, so in profile number 1, the adjectives here are adventure seeking, fun loving, easygoing, self-centered. Number 2, we have like-minded. Number 3, outgoing, sociable. 4, thoughtful. 5, open-minded. And number 6, we have knowledge. So let's check the definitions for the adjectives from the article. Number 1, prepare to listen to new ideas. Number 2, considering things very carefully and thinking about others. 3, intelligent, knows a lot about something. 4, with similar ideas and interests. 5, enjoys having a good time. 6, likes doing dangerous or unusual activities. 7, friendly, extroverted. Number 8, relaxed. 9, thinking only about yourself and not other people. And number 10, enjoying being with other people. Let's check the answers. So the answers are: number 1, a person who is open-minded is the one that is prepared to listen to new ideas. Number 2, a person who is thoughtful is the one that is considering things very carefully and thinking about others. Number 3, an intelligent person who knows a lot about something is a knowledgeable person. Number 4, a like-minded person is the one with similar ideas and interests. 5, a fun-loving person is the one who enjoys having a good time. Let's go ahead. Number 6. An adventure-seeking person is the one who likes doing dangerous or unusual activities. So if you like extreme sports, you are an adventure-seeking person, right? An outgoing person is the one who is friendly and extroverted. And easygoing is the one that is relaxed. Number 9. Self-centered person. It is the one who is thinking only about yourself and not other people. And the last one, number 10, a sociable person is the one who is enjoying being with other people. So, which of these adjectives define your personality? And which kinds of images do you post? Do you have a social media profile? Are the descriptions in the article true for you and your posts? What do you consider them true for you? And what about the images posted by your friends, people you follow, people from your family? Are the opinions in the text true about them? Do you agree? Take a look at the example. I post a lot of group photos, but I definitely don't feel lonely. So this person disagrees from the article, right? In the article, they mention that many people post a lot of group photos, not because they're sociable, but because they feel lonely. Another example, my brother is always posting selfies and he's incredibly self-centered. So most of people who post lots of selfies are the ones who only think of themselves. Do you agree? Are you like this? So let's check again. Open-minded, prepared to listen to new ideas. Thoughtful, considering things very carefully and thinking about others. Knowledgeable, intelligent, knows a lot about something. Like-minded, with similar ideas and interests. Fun-loving, enjoys having a good time. Adventure-seeking, likes doing dangerous or unusual activities. Outgoing, friendly, extrovert, easygoing, relaxed, self-centered, thinking only about yourself and not other people, and sociable, enjoying being with the other people. In this lesson, we're going to learn a little about how to change the sentence into a more emphatic form, right? By using the adverbs or with the auxiliary do or does in the simple present tense, right? Uses from letters A to E. Pay attention to the stress and the cross out the wrong option in the rule, right? With emphatic forms, auxiliaries and adverbs are usually stressed or unstressed. We are emphasizing the sentence by using an adverb. In letter A, the adverb is sure. The letter B, certainly, and letter C, definitely. So we use them to have a more emphatic form in this sentence, right? And letter D and letter E, I'm emphasizing by using the auxiliary verb do and does in the simple present tense, right? We have the subject, I, auxiliary, do, the verb love, and the object, the sound of her voice. So the sentence is, I do love the sound of her voice. Use auxiliary plus the verb to emphasize agreement or disagreement. Example, you don't seem to like him. That's not true. I do like him. Use adverbs before the verb to emphasize an opinion or agreement or disagreement. Pay attention to the sentences. I really don't think he's going to show up. I definitely want to meet him sometime. Note, emphatic auxiliaries and adverbs are more common in speech than in writing. So, in the grammar, we don't consider this correct. I don't emphasize using the auxiliaries do and does in written form. It's more common to speak, right? So, with emphatic forms, auxiliaries and adverbs are usually stressed. So so you give more emphasis when you are speaking, right? Verb in the third person singular, in the simple present tense for he, she, it, I add s for most of the verbs. But when I want to use the emphatic form, does, for an affirmative sentence, I use does, but I don't change the verb. Remember that? So you say, it does sound. You don't say it does sounds. You see? So you say, it does sound interesting. In the past, I used the auxiliary did. The past tense of say is said. It is an irregular verb. So when I'm emphasizing a sentence, I don't change the verb to the past. I say, they did say, not they did said. You see? So you say, they did say they were going to Japan next. Alright? Did you get it? Comment with the words in parentheses and an appropriate verb. Remember, you are emphasizing that, right? Completing with the emphatic form. These comments, and you're going to use what is in the parentheses, right? Number 1. Look at this one. What a view. Imagine being on that beach. Betty, yes, it's like an amazing place. You have to emphasize it by using does because I'm talking about it, the third person, remember? And which verb do you complete here to make sense? Let's check again. If it is an affirmative form in a normal way, you say, it looks like, remember? Or if we add as. But I'm emphasizing, that's why I use does to give emphasis in the sentence, right? So you say, it does look like. You see? So you don't add as for the verb. Okay? Number 2. Life is a journey, not a race. Yeah, that's a good one to remember. You have to use the adverb definitely. How do you say that to emphasize? Definitely a good one to remember. By emphasizing using the adverb, right? Number 3. I love this one of the man and the tiger together. How do you complete? They to have a strong bond using sure, the adverb sure. How do you complete? Sure seem to have a strong bond. You emphasizing the adverb. So you emphasize it by using the adverb. You say, they sure seem to have a strong bond. You see? The emphasis is given on the adverb, right? What a cute little ball of fluff. I want one. Then Betty says, you to get a kitten, don't you? Using the auxiliary verb do to give emphasis in the sentence. How do you complete affirmative? The sentence would be, you need to get a kitten. Kitten is a little cat, a baby cat, right? So, when I want to talk about emphatic forms, remember I use the auxiliary before the verb. And if it is for he, she, it person, the third person singular, I don't change the verb. I use does plus the verb without any change, right? So the correct form here is to say, you do need to get a kitten, don't you? Alright? And the last one, number 5. Look at them skydiving together. They braver than me using certainly. How do you give emphatic form for this one? Certainly braver than me. Remember, when we use the adverbs, they are before any verbs, but with the verb to be, they are after, like in number 2 and number 5. I use the adverbs after the verb to be. But in number 3, I use before the verb, right? That's the difference. So let's go on. Slide. Be prepared to answer these questions, right? We're going to discuss on social media and your point of view. So which of these views on social media do you agree with? Social media apps make us less sociable. Do you agree? Disagree? Instagram is the best social media app there is. Do you have the same opinion? What's your opinion about it? How many friends or followers I have matters to me. You should be over 16 to have a social media account. Do you have the same opinion? What's your opinion about? What is the best age to have a social media account like Instagram? Running a social media account is a special skill. Do you need an ability to go through the social media account? Do you have any difficulties to access one of them? And the last one, you can have too many social media accounts. Do you agree? Can you manage all of your accounts? I have two, remember? The personal one and the professional one. I can deal with them, right? I have no problems to have two social media accounts in Instagram and another in Facebook. I use them in a good way, right? So, as you can see, we have some answers that you can use to talk about your opinion. You can say, I do believe that when you want to give emphatic form to say your opinion, right? I do agree that, again, in an emphatic form to say your opinion. So if you want to give your opinion in a very emphatic form, you can say these sentences. I do believe that, I do agree that, I definitely think that. You see, you are using emphatic forms like using the auxiliary verb do before the verbs in affirmative form and using the adverb definitely. So you can show your opinion by using emphatic forms to say that, right? In a normal way, you could say people seem to, and you're not using anything to emphasize, right? We have player me, number one, selfie, number two, I talk, in number three, and dog look in four. And what is special about this? Do you know any of them? Have you ever heard about any? So, which are they? Let's try to discover. Here we have an example. Maybe the first one, player me, helps gamers to play better. It's your opinion. So, what's your opinion about these apps? Let's check to find some descriptions about the three of the apps that we mentioned in letter A. Remember them? We have Player Me, Selfie, iTalki, and Dotloop. So let's identify them. By reading, we're going to discover. Take a look. A social media app for everyone. Facebook is the world's largest social media network. In fact, it's so huge that it's easier to find distant relatives than someone who actually shares the same interests as you. Here are some interesting examples of nice social networks where people with very specific tastes and hobbies can socialize. So let's check here the first one. Unlike other social media apps, you don't check into locations but into your favorite movies and TV shows. Your friends on these networks see what you're watching right now, and it allows you to comment on and react to TV moments with other fans. You can also unlock digital stickers related to your favorite shows and bands. So, which of these apps represents the first one here? Number two. So, what is this app about? It is the one that you make comments and react to TV moments, right? With other fans. If you want something practical with your social networking app, then this app is perfect for you. It links people who are learning a particular language with others who are fluent. There are approximately 100 different languages available, including endangered ones. This is a brilliant way to learn a new language in a realistic setting and also learn about other cultures at the same time. 3. italki, right? It is the app that you have the opportunity to learn a different language with other people and practice with fluent ones, right? And to finish, we have the last one. This is a social media site for those who have a deep interest in gaming. With this app, you can connect and chat with other like-minded players and gaming fans. Create a gaming profile, then share your status updates and photos, and stream live videos. There is also a group feature so you can join and meet gamers who are into the same games as you. So, all you nerds out there, this is the place for you to network. So, this is easy, yeah? What is it? .me, number 1. So, these are the Player Me is the app that you have the opportunity to compete with other games. Pay attention to the descriptions here and try to remember which of those apps is the best one to match the idea, right? Number 1, about your favorite soap opera. Number 2, family. Number 3, it offers you the chance to hear a dying language. 4, it tells your friends what you're doing, but not where you are. 5, it combines social networking and learning as skills. And number 6, it introduces you to people who have a lot of computer knowledge. Let's check the answer 1. The app that you can chat about your favorite soap opera is Stealthy. Another that is stealthy here is number 4. It tells your friends what you're doing but not where you are, right? Number 2, it helps you find members of your family. That's Facebook, right? Number 3, we have it offers you the chance to hear a dying language. It is italki. Another description here that is about italki is number 5. It combines social networking and learning a skill. So you can speak and practice language by using italki app, right? And the last one, number 6, it introduces you to people who have a lot of computer knowledge. This is player.me, right? People make. Most of people say it's let you tell your friends. And what is the correct form? You say it lets you, it allows you to, right? For he, she, it, remember we have as for the verb, right? So you say it let you. And which apps are most used by your friends, by the family? Which of the apps most appeals to you and why? And the least appealing. Do you like some specific apps? Which one? Which app or which apps would you recommend to your friends, to the class? Can you think of any other niche social media apps? And what kind of app do you think Look might be? Do you have any idea? Let's research about it. Govlook, it is a short way for government, right? And look means like to get an idea about the most important things that have been happening, right? And this is an app for people who are interested or connected to politicians, right? To government, to two friends talking about a day, and you're going to check the answers for numbers 1 to 3, right? Which app in A on page 14 did Roberto use? So which of those apps did he use? Number 2, did he like the woman? And number 3, Was the date successful? So what is a date? A date is a meeting, a special meeting that you have with a person, right? So let's listen to the conversation. Let's answer the questions here. Number 1 to 3. What's easier to understand, Roberto or the woman? Listen.
So, how did it go last night?
You mean the date?
Yup, the one you met on that player.me app, right?
Yes, that's the one. Well, we arranged to meet at Starbucks on 57th. You know, the cozy one. Great coffee.
Uh-huh.
I got there a bit late because of the traffic and, well, anyway, I opened the door and, to my surprise,
Go on.
I spotted her immediately, sitting right in front of me, drinking coffee. It was obvious it was her, even though I had no idea what she looked like. She was just perfect, you know?
Hold on a sec. You mean you hadn't seen her photo?
No. You see, she hadn't put a picture of herself on her profile. Just an image of the character she likes playing.
No way.
Yeah, but I knew straight away she was the girl I'd been chatting to on the app. I just knew.
What happens next?
Our eyes meet, we shake hands and, try to break the ice, talk about the coffee, the weather, the traffic.
And then?
She gets up and leaves.
What do you mean, leaves?
She says, "Look, I don't think this is going to work out," leaves her share of the bill on the table, and walks away.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Are you serious?
Yep. So, there you go. One more disastrous date for my collection. How about that?
Oh, dear. Well, don't let it get to you, Roberto. You know, you'll meet someone else.
Yeah. Oh well.
This exercise did Roberto use, remember? He mentioned that was number 1, player.me, right? Like the woman? The answer is yes, he did. Was the date successful? No, it wasn't, right? And what's your opinion about the conversation? Who was easier to understand, Roberto or Kelly? And say if the sentence is true or false. What is a blind date? Do you believe in blind dates? A blind date is when people meet in order to get together, to get to know each other, right? But they haven't seen each other before. They have no idea about who the person is. They have never seen any pictures or photos, right? So that's why the name is a blind date. And according to what you listen, Roberto and the woman met at a coffee shop. Number 2, the woman arrived late. 3, Roberto had never met her before. 4, she left as soon as she saw Roberto. And 5, Roberto has had other unsuccessful dates before. So which one is true and which one is false? Let's check the answers. Roberto and the woman met at a coffee shop. It's right, it's true. Number 3, Roberto had never met her before. And number 5, Roberto has had other unsuccessful dates before. So they are true. The false ones are number 2 and 4. The woman arrived late. It's false. She has already arrived when Roberto came up to the coffee shop, right? And number 4, She left as soon as she saw Roberto? No, they had a conversation before, right? Then, between Roberto and his friend Callie, they used some language and some expressions there. Sometimes they seem to be a little confusing to us, right? That's why they use informal conversation. And in this exercise, we're going to check some formal expressions and the way that we speak when we want to be informal. Remember, when we are talking to friends, when we are talking about some situations that are not so serious, right? We can use the informal language. Of course, they are easier to understand. They may be confusing, right? So let's check. We have number 1. Are you talking about the day? Number 2. Please continue. 3. Wait a minute, please. 4. I'm very surprised. Number 5. And what happened after that? 6. Please. Could you explain, please? 7. Is this true? And number 8. I'm really sorry to hear that. So these are the formal ways to say these sentences. What about the informal? So let's complete the informal language here. Number 1. Are you talking about the day? What is the answer here? How do you complete according to what you heard? How do you listen? Number 1. In a formal way you say, are you talking about the day? In the informal way you say, you mean the date, right? Number 2. Please continue, formal and informal. Go on. Number 3. Wait a minute, please. Formal way. What is the informal? Hold on a sec, right? 4. You say, I'm very surprised in a formal way. What is the informal way for that? You say, no way, right? Number 5. And what happened after that? This is the formal way. What is the informal? What happens next? Number 6. You say, please, could you explain, please? In a formal way. Informally, how do you say that? What do you mean lives, right? Number 7, is this true? You ask in a formal way. Informally you speak, are you serious? And number 8, in formal way you say, oh dear, right? Are you more formal or more informal? When you were paying attention, the guy was telling us a story that has happened to him, right? This is name and anecdotes. When you are talking about a story that happened to you in a funny or strange way, this story can be an anecdote, right? So imagine what happened before and take a look at those cartoons from numbers 1, 2, and 3. You see, these are stories, right? And anecdotes. People often use the present tense so people and objects seem closer to the listener. And when we try telling the anecdotes from these pictures here from numbers 1, 2, and 6, remember we're going to use the verbs in the simple present tense because I want to make them seem to be closer to us. So pay attention to the example. So I finished work and I'm walking to my car. I'm tired and really looking forward to getting home. I open, you see? So you can imagine the situation happening closer to you. When we use the simple present tense, we tell the story in a way that we seem to be very next to, very closer, right, to the listener. You're going to think about a story, a funny, an embarrassing, a scary situation, like those pictures here in the cartoon. And you're going to write down at forum at Ava, okay? Please be creative. Talk about a story that has happened to you. But if it never happened, so try to create never happened to you. You can talk about someone's story, okay? You can talk about a story that happened to someone in your family, with a friend, or maybe use your mind, use your imagination, create a story simply, right? Remember to take a look at those steps that I put there at Ava to facilitate your work, right? Do your best and write down there at the forum. It's part of your update too, right? Use a lot when they are talking about a story and they want to make them more realistic or maybe closer to the listener. They use the simple past instead of using the simple present. That's not correct. Remember, when I want to make the listener feel like if the person is there closer to the situation, right? I use the simple present. Take a look at the examples. I get into the car and I saw this huge mouse. I saw is not correct. What is the correct form? I see. Simple present instead of the simple past tense, right? Another example. I was running for the bus and crashed into a street light. In this situation, I don't use the simple present. Why not? Because I'm talking about two situations that happened in the past. And when I'm talking about a story and I want to emphasize the idea that two situations happened in the past, but one was the background describing the situation around, right?